How's it going, everybody? This is Dominic Minchella. I am the Kansas City Chiefs co-beat writer for On SI and the host of the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast. Thank you guys so much. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Thank you for supporting this podcast and stepping forward and listening to anything that I have to say about the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm thankful for all of you who are regularly tuning in, and those who are new, welcome. This is something we do every single day. So be sure that you make the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast part of your daily routine. That being said, though, the Kansas City Chiefs have got a big game on tap here today as they take on the Dallas Cowboys. Week 13, a short week in Week 12 where you came away with a victory against the Indianapolis Colts, a game that felt like a must-win, and it really was a must. But when you're looking at this game today, when I tell you that it is an elimination game for both teams, you can be sure to read that article that I just put out on this exact topic earlier today. It is an elimination game for whoever loses. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs go into the game with a 6-5 record. They have a lot of work to do if they want to become, find a way into a playoff position. If they want to become a established franchise that continues to make their appearance felt in the playoffs, it's got to be a win against the Cowboys. However, it's going to be an uphill climb, and let me tell you, if you're looking for some offensive powerhouses to take over in a high-scoring game, I have a feeling that this game has that scenario written all over it. Going into this game, the Dallas Cowboys lead the NFL just passing the Indianapolis Colts in total average yards per game. They have 387.3. Huge offensive team in terms of total yards. And when it comes to passing, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at the two best franchises in the NFL this season in terms of passing the football. Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott have been paid for a reason, and they have made it look good all season as well. The Cowboys, they average 266.8 passing yards per game, whereas the Kansas City Chiefs average 257.7 passing yards per game. They lead the NFL, and the third team is the San Francisco 49ers, and they don't even crack 250 average passing yards per game. Now, when it does come to the offensive side, when you are rushing the football, neither team has had a lot of success. They kind of ride middle of the road in that department. The Dallas Cowboys do have a slight advantage as they enter this game, averaging 120.5 rushing yards per game. Kansas City falls two teams below them as they hold 118.3 rushing yards per game. And with the Chiefs getting Isaiah Pacheco back in this game, as well as having Kareem Hunt coming off of a pretty big game himself, where he totaled a season high in that we haven't seen in a long time in terms of rushing yards for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's a big game if the Kansas City Chiefs can move the ball on the ground. Well, the defense is a different story. I'll get to that in a second before we touch on our overall prediction. Be sure you stay to the end to hear the prediction. The Dallas Cowboys, they are averaging 29.1 points per game offensively, where the Kansas City Chiefs are averaging 25.2. So when you're looking at things in total, the Dallas Cowboys definitely have the advantage on the offensive side of things if you're looking statistically. But at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes, you can't really count him and the offense out until the game is really said and done. Because primarily, when they are moving the football, a lot of the success rate happens when Patrick Mahomes is finding his targets. Because the yards after catch this season for Kansas City have been killer. While they haven't been very good at scoring and winning in one-score games compared to how they were in 2024, this has the likes of where it could be the second game in a row where they're going to have to be in a dogfight in order to win. Because when it comes to the defensive side of things for these two franchises, both kind of have their ups and downs. The Chiefs' defense is a lot better than the Dallas Cowboys' offense. than the Dallas Cowboys defense. The Chiefs defense averagely allows 293 yards per game, whereas the Dallas Cowboys average 377.5. They rank third worst in the NFL, where the Kansas City Chiefs are in the top 10 in that department. Now, that is all great and all, because then it forces the Dallas Cowboys to use their offensive assets to take a power stance over their opponent. They've been able to win that way, but they've also been able to lose that way. When it comes to passing yards allowed, Kansas City averages around 195, whereas the Dallas Cowboys average around 252. I would say that favors Patrick Mahomes. And for the Kansas City Chiefs team, that's primarily a offensive game plan, especially when the defense is going to keep you in the game, but the offense is going to take control. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. And when it comes to rushing defense, the Kansas City Chiefs, they had been a little spotty here and there, but as of recently, through 12 weeks, they average only 97.6 rushing yards allowed, whereas the Dallas Cowboys, they allow, just give me 1 second here, just looking at these statistics just to make sure that I have that correct. They allow 125.2. Now, I'm not saying that the rushing game for Kansas City is going to be a big factor. You never know with Isaiah Pacheco because of his coming off of an injury, and you never know with Kareem Hunt. There's a lot of ups and downs with that room. But knowing that the defense for the Cowboys isn't very good at defending the pass, and Patrick Mahomes is very much a pass-first quarterback, I think that this very much favors Kansas City, and it's going to be close. Because the defense for the Chiefs, they averagely allow 18.3 points per game. Whereas the Cowboys, they averagely allow 28.5 points per game. Now, I can see this game going two different scenarios. One, it's going to be a close game where they're scoring over 30 points each, or close to 30 points, where I could see this game finishing maybe 34-30, 29-32, something around those lines. Or it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs taking a stance and making a statement in a game where they need to win. Because at the end of the day, the AFC West has been as competitive as I told you it would be. On top of that, the Chiefs really need to, if they want anything to do with the playoffs this season, this is a must-win game for them. And they've been playing these games, these must-win type of games all season long, to where it almost seems like it's got to become natural to them at this. Patrick Mahomes, he's a very clutch player. They've got offensive guys and offensive minds in the coaching staff that are very familiar with high leverage situations. And this is just a Thanksgiving game. This isn't like a playoff game. This is just, you want to keep your playoff hopes alive, you got to win this game. So, yeah, going into the game, they're going to have to be a little bit of aggressive. They're going to have to be aggressive in both on the field product and off the field product. But I do think that it's very doable. I think that the Kansas City Chiefs, if they're able to pull away early, it's going to favor them. If they have to play and catch up, I think that they win late into the game. But all in all, I think that this Kansas City Chiefs team is winning either 32-29, or I would say 28 to about 14, maybe 17. I am in favor of Kansas City. I don't think you can lose this game. And if you do, the playoff path just gets a whole lot bumpier. That being said, be sure you follow me over on X at Dom Minchella. I post and repost every single day. You're not going to want to miss any coverage of the Kansas City Chiefs while we go into the rest of the regular season after the Thanksgiving Day showdown. You can also follow us over at KC Chiefs on SI, both on X and Facebook, where everything gets posted there. Because Kansas City Chiefs on SI is the place to get your Kansas City Chiefs news. With that, folks, be kind to one another. Stay blessed. Have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.